actually, it's good afternoon. It just doesn't have that creepy sound because it's daylight outside, the sun is shining, and there's no fear of what lurks under the bed. Welcome to my first annual non-Halloween stream. I thought about it. I even thought about outfits. I had two of them in mind. I looked forward last year to doing it, and we ended up traveling. I couldn't, and here I am on the day, and I wimped out and decided not to. I don't know why. Part of it is we just don't celebrate Halloween. We have no trick-or-treaters. We live too far away. We don't gather with other adults that celebrate. My grandson is happier with a Halloween card and $10 bill in it as opposed to candy. So, it's no Halloween for me, and I am not going to mention Christmas more than maybe 5 times. Christmas is my holiday. I don't even care about Thanksgiving, right? We could get rid of Thanksgiving, but I am all about Christmas. So, going to be a lot of festivities around that. Anyway, welcome. Happy Sunday afternoon. I am going to be working with wool. It is the first dye pot of hopefully 4, although I've only done 1 so far. But I was in the mood to show it to you, and I thought, well, if I've got it out, I'm going to pick it open, which is the next step of the process, so that it can be carded or combed. And I even have back there, my hand cards and handheld combs. Gonna figure out which I like better by taking and making a little bit of top or one bat and having that to do a little sample spin with. I have a lot of this fleece. This is well skirted now. I had a lot more before I started, but this is the best, and there's 2 big batches of it, so I'm going to pick that open. Otherwise, the only other news is I got my fiber exchange packages all done and ready to pop into priority boxes and ship them off maybe tomorrow. Depends on what I get done tonight and in the morning. And there's not much else to tell. So things will come to me. I am having a wonderful cup of tea. I got a cute, mug. And if I can get my fingers out of the way, it says, if we're sitting, we're knitting. Of course, it's got a sheep and a llama and goat. So I'm having a nice Adagio chocolate orange tea, supposedly decaf, and I've made a pot of it. Hopefully it won't go too cool. It's not too bad today, although the furnace is running. Sun's shining though. Hubby and I took a little road trip this morning. Not a trip, but we ran into the local close town and went to the grocery store, got gas because we have points. We had discount points we could use by the 31st. We had to use them up today. And we picked up a few things at the grocery store, got some candy on sale. So I am celebrating with chocolate. To me, it's not Halloween, it is Chocolate Day. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, what I was going to say is it's just really, really lovely outside with the sunshine. The colors are at peak and the leaves are still on the tree. So it was a very nice little quick getaway this morning for errands and enjoyment of the nice fall weather. I am playing the Spooky Channel, so that's my vow head nod to the Halloween day, and hopefully the balance is right because I can't hear it. So I would say it's probably okay. And I don't plan on talking too much today. Unless things come to me, I don't really have a whole lot to say, really. Let's take a look at this fleece. It looks gray there to me. It is a gorgeous brown. In fact, let me try something here. Let me see if this other camera might be better. Yeah, it would be if I could get some light on it. Huh. Not sure if I can get any light on it. Oh well. As you can see, it's browner. I'll hold it up here. It's not gray, it's brown. It looks gray on the other camera. Everything's kind of washed out on that camera. And what I need to do is, it is all clumped because of the picking apart process and originally, right, the washing process. And it was clumped after the washing process and I didn't unclump it. I wet it again because I had washed it quite a few months ago. I wet it again and put it into the dye pot, but it was in clumps like this when I put it in the dye pot. So the whole point of what I need to do here is do this. And I'll probably, yeah, I can move my camera a little more. I'm gonna have that so you can see my hands. But a lot will fall out, which is why I have the towel on my lap, because a lot's gonna fall out while I do this. But what this does, and it's just addicting to do this, I will tell you this: clean wool, soft wool, which this is because it's a Rambouillet, and I'm going to be finding the little short bits. So I'll stick my trash can right down there. And I end up with fluff. And that fluff is what's good for going in cards or combing, or drum card or combing. I have a bag down here that I'm putting it into once I fluff it, and really, I usually sit on my front porch to do this in all stages of picking fiber apart. I probably could have gotten away with sitting outside in the sun. It would have been warm enough to do this, but my porch is in the shade, and I thought, well, I'm just going to do it on stream and get it done. Shoot. One thing I did not do was take a picture of it. Okay, you listen to the music a minute. I am going to go get my iPad. I should have kept it in here. get myself so packed into this little corner to stream that, good grief, it takes me forever to get up and out and get what I want. Okay. I need to mark this, what this is. I'm going to move the mic out of the way. Okay. Oh, I wish I had done that before stream. That's the teapot. Okay. Well, after all that, I need more cuppa. Yes, please, tea. There are lighter and darker areas of this. This has to do with, even though I lightly stir the pot and it sits in the dye for hours, some of the fiber would be scrunched together by fiber on top and all around and that sort of thing. And it didn't pick up as much dye. Some of the darker area could be the yellow cast that the natural fleece, the white fleece had, especially on the tips. There was yolk color, and the darker tips might be that, or it might be, it looks like some of the tips are lighter, that prevented the fiber from taking up the dye. Not sure which. Color is what I would call a walnut brown. It's interesting. It could be a color, a natural color of a sheep fleece. The truth is, it's just almost it's the wrong brown, right? It's too consistently the same brown. Natural colored fleece has grays and whites and all that in the lock and everything, and you don't see that, so you know it's dyed. But I could see people, if I would not mark this as being dyed, they might think it's a natural color. It's a nice long staple. I think that it's going to love being combed on my big Indigo Hound Viking combs. I think that it's going to like that. It's not what I'm going to test it on today. I'm just going to use my little handhelds, but I have a feeling it's got a nice long staple and it's going to like it. One of the nice things about combing on those large combs is that you can load it with a lot of fiber, which means you can pull off good lengths of top as opposed to the handheld combs, which you only get these little tiny strips of top pulled off. It only holds a little bit of fiber. I have not attempted to get a weight on this. I suppose what I will do is weigh the final product that comes out as top if I comb it. Um, One of the reasons I wanted to take the picture, it was kind of important, is because the Knit Girls, who, you know, has a podcast and who has a very active group on Discord, and I am more active in their group than taking the time to listen to the podcast, but they're real good about holding like 2 month events, and they're just challenges. I would call them challenges to do something, you know, a particular something, or it'll have a theme for the 2 months. And so we just finished up the Halloween, which made sense, right? Knitting, making something, working with Halloween colors, whatever. Well, they're starting one tomorrow. Oh, that's true. If I do this today, it don't count. Cindy, you just don't think things through. Oh well. Never mind. I was going to say I have this to submit, but it's not the first. And I have gone public with that, so I certainly am not going to lie about it. Joke's on me. I got a Halloween trick instead of tweet. Treat. Some of this is pretty short, and unfortunately, that's gonna get pulled out by the combs. Um, Sometimes I will drum card comb waste. Depends how junky it looks, or whether it seems like it's fairly decent. It just doesn't like combs. Just depends. I could give up and do this tomorrow. Got kind of a busy day tomorrow. Or I can do it later. I have 2 months. Hmm. But the whole thing for November through the end of the year is process fiber, whatever step that means. Washing. preparing to make it into top of roving. Not spinning, anything but spinning, basically. And I have a lot to do. So it's not, it is only an incentive for me. It's like, oh, well, somebody else is going to appreciate the fact I got this done, so I'm going to do it. Well, when my fingers get tired, I'll stop. I'm sure I can not do the whole thing. There is more than this that's sitting here on this table, so. When my fingers get tired, but I'll stop. I have many other things here to do. Never without a backup plan. It's not at all compacted or felted or anything. The process was I have a great big stock pot that I have a set of 4 that I use for dyeing, and this wool was washed but dry. So I put the wool in just room temp water and let it soak for half an hour to get it good and saturated. And the walnut liquid, black walnut liquid, came from black walnuts that I had put in great big lidded tubs that kitty litter comes in. Covered it with water and let it sit on the porch all winter and all summer. I mean, months. It doesn't matter. Hubby had the wonderful job of straining it off to get it off the nuts and pour it into another bucket. And he also has the wonderful job, because he doesn't want me doing it. He doesn't, I mean, he wants to do it, right? Of putting that liquid into the dye pot when I'm ready to dye. So that's what he did. We did this Friday morning. And the liquid was cold because it was outside, so I got it up to close to room temp, although you have to understand that I was just feeling the side of the pot. I wasn't sticking my finger in the dye. It actually washes off fine if you wash your hands right away. right? If you stuck your hands and kept your hands in it for a long time, I'm sure you would have brown fingernails. But I got it to close to the temp that the wool was in its water, and I squeezed the water out as much as I could. I didn't spin it dry, but I just squeezed it out good. And then I dropped it into the dye pot. And I was going to let it sink gradually, but it wasn't sinking. And I was concerned that it was just going to sit there like that. So I have a big stir stick that is the implement I use for moving the wool around in dye pots, and I got that out and stirred it down into the dye pot. You bring the temp up to a simmer. It should never boil, but it should stay at a simmer for an hour. And I do it with the lid off. I don't put the lid on. That tends to make the temp go up too much, and I can monitor it better if the lid's off. So I let it simmer for an hour, and then I turn off the temp and let it sit on the stove. The one book that I was reading about natural dyeing with black walnuts and other stuff said to do that twice for best results. And I do think that this is a little darker than the last time I did this, when I only did it once, a couple years ago. So anyway, we had the concert Friday, and before I left for that, I turned it back up, simmered it for an hour, turned it off, and let it sit until we got up Saturday morning. And then we poured the dye off with catching the wool in a colander and just rinsed the heck out of everything. Rinsed it really good. Put it on my hanging mesh dryer thing and hung it over the shower rod. So it dried. It was dry this morning. I should keep a drop spindle in here. I don't know why I don't. Got everything else spinning related in here pretty much. I was just thinking that be a good way to sample the fiber. Um, when I first started doing the breed reviews years and years and years ago, I'd have a fiber like this that I didn't know anything about, and I wanted to not necessarily dye it, but once I had it washed and picked apart, I would do both top and a bat. That's very, very informative, to have the two different prep variations on a fiber. There are fibers that do not do well with top, they're way too short. And there are fibers that don't do well with drum carding it because they're too long. So it's you can kind of use that as a general thing, but it really is nice to try a little sample of it and see that for yourself, and to kind of figure out where does this fiber fit in, because it may not look like it's too long for drum, hand cards, but it turns out it doesn't like it. And it what it does is doesn't make a well blended bat. So I got in the habit of having just a little bit of top and one bat from my hand cards to spin, and so instead of getting the uh, Roberta out or anything like that, I used a drop spindle a lot for that sampling, and I got out of the habit of that. Not sure why, but I did. I got out of the habit of it, and that's really what I need. I don't know about other cities, but trick or treating is happening now. Maybe next hour starting up until dark. Oh, this time for a spooky story. Something is tapping on my window, and it's to my back. Do you think if sheep trick or treated, they'd dress up as humans? Does anybody dress up as a sheep for Halloween? I don't think so. This fleece came from a Kentucky breeder at one of the Kentucky fiber fairs 2 years ago. Nothing happened in 2020. And it happened this year, but I couldn't get to it. I think it was the same time as SAF. I thought when I bought the fleece and paid $70 for the big fleece, and it was big, I was a little sticker shocked, but I have no regrets. It has been worth. It's beautiful. It's been a beautiful fleece. Just taken me some time to work on it. This is really short bits. I'm not gonna put that in there. Sometimes it's quite knotted. And I am hitting the bits right now that are quite knotted. That would just get pulled out by the comb. Not even worth putting in. I can hear that music faintly. Pop goes the weasel. And ooh, what pops out of that box? Oh, our concert was so good. Straight No Chaser is a group of 9 male vocalists. And they do a wonderful show. They're most famous for their Christmas songs. They did do some. There was one on YouTube that went viral, 12 Days of Christmas, which is actually how I learned about the group, by hearing that song and then looking them up. Years ago. They have just recently started touring again. Oops, sorry, hit the mic. This is like eating potato chips. It's hard to stop. Just one more clump. I don't know why, but that's how it feels. I'll just do one more. How are you, Veggie? I heard that you went to a fiber fair. Lexical told me when I was streaming on Friday. Did you have a wonderful time? Trick or treat! Uh-huh. You didn't read my title. What is Halloween for Bah Humbug? No, I don't mind Halloween. We just don't celebrate. We live so far away from anybody. Nobody ever comes for trick or treat. So, just sort of called this a non-Halloween stream. You did? Did you have a good time? So do we have any kind of pumpkin stickers? They didn't put out any pumpkin stickers, did they? Or anything? Emoticons. You want candy anyway. Of course you do. I don't blame you. What do you do on the one time they show up at your door? I have had that thought. You know, who knows, right? But I have chocolate around all the time, and I could do something. Crafty? You always buy candy in case and then try not to open the bag too far from Halloween. Well, we did the opposite. We went today, and because it's on sale today, so we bought our candy for us today. I got Jelly Bellies that taste like s'mores. Not really, but they say they do. They're good. Different. How about you, all crafty? Do you get trick or treaters? That's what we're talking about. I bet my daughter's busy. They get a lot on their street. And I'm pretty sure my grandson's going out. Oh, okay, so my. Uh, All Crafty says not usually. Okay. My story for today, when we went out, we were looking for a Sunday paper. Never did find it because we were are too late. We don't get the paper normally, but every once in a while I pick up a Sunday paper. And then we went to one of the local to see if we could get it. We went to one of the local gas stations down the road from us. And in the process, I pulled in the parking lot. Hubby went in to see if he could get a paper, and while he was in the store, there was a car parked beside me, and a tow truck came. A big tow truck came and pulled behind them and also behind me because he was so big. So we can't leave, right? And their problem was flat tire. And his solution, and he wasn't going to tow them, his solution was to put air in all the tires so that they could drive somewhere to get a new tire because it had a nail in it. But what the story, part of the story I wanted to tell you, talking about Halloween, it's a young gentleman who is driving the tow truck, and he has his two boys with him. I shouldn't turn away. I know it affects the mic. He had his two boys in the truck with him, and they were both in Halloween costumes. They had their skeleton costume and their cowboy costume, and like they were probably going to a party after he did his call. Veggie says we had a handful of kids one year, and Lex told the kids they could have more than one piece, and one of the kids grabbed a couple of handfuls of candy. That kid is going somewhere in life. Well, you have to be specific, yeah? You may have 3. to set this aside, pick this apart, the rest that little bit, and do some carding and combing of it to see what it's like. When you say take that look, like you mean it? Yeah. That there was one that didn't believe you, huh? Didn't take the extra. Wow, that's you know, some people are very considerate, just by nature. Now that one was starting early, being considerate. My grandson had no control over his sweet tooth, and sugar was not a good thing for him. So the candy got hidden, whatever candy jar I had out filled at the point he was coming out to the house. The candy jar got hidden. Well, he's beyond that now, right? He's doing real good as far as if he wants a piece of candy, yes, and ask again, and ask again, and ask again. So now it's just like, how many do you have? I think you have had four. No, yeah, I think you've had four. I think that's all you're supposed to have. Oh, all crafty. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Can I quote you on that? That is gorgeous. I'll go the other way around. I'll give the yarn. I don't need any more. But and bet you like that too. Yay, all crafty. Tell me about it. That's wonderful. Or have you posted a picture? I haven't. I don't think I've been on Discord today. I read it. I read everything last night. I got caught up last night. Is it still drying? Now the retreat should happen on Halloween. Yeah, I know. Well, you know, as a senior citizen, I think it's perfectly acceptable and time that I can go out and trick or treat now. I should be in my second childhood, right? So, Oh, yes, I got it. Yeah, you did do some solids and some multicolors. Oh, I'll look forward to seeing that later, but I understand. Don't want the surprise ruined at all. This is going to be so much fun. Isn't it so amazing to bring something out of a dye pot and wash it and see the change? I mean, it's just magic to me. Even when I ended up dyeing a vivid yellow and a vivid orange because I was enamored of the fact that I loved anything that came out of the dye pot, and I hate yellows and oranges, so I thought I'd give it a try. I liked it, you know, so it was true. I liked it. I was trying to get myself out of my blue green comfort zone there. I am pushing the mic out of the way for a little bit. I'll try not to talk too much because I'm going to do some combing here. Are you dyeing yarn, Veggie? Are you... I only did the fiber one. Because, to be honest with you, if I had done the yarn, I would have wanted to give hand spun, and I thought that was just not a real good expectation. So, yarn and flute yarn both. Okay. Oh, that is such nice. That is such nice top. It's gonna be awesome combed. A lot of waste. Always a lot of waste. And when I do the big part, all of the fleece, I will do it on my great big clamp to the table combs. So it'll be good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would definitely start thinking about that now as far as next year. Because I do make a fair number of smaller mini skeins, right? And I have to look for something to put them together anyway. Oh man, this is nice. Well, here's your treat, guys. Sorry you can't have any, right? I can't get it to you. It does take more time. That's why I was thinking I better reconsider that and just stick with the. And I had a ball doing the fiber one, so I'm really glad I could focus on that. That's gonna be an interesting bat. It's got light and dark in it. That's too short. Grabby hands. I know. There's just not enough time in the day for all the wonderful fiber that's out there. I'm going to set this aside and spin it Wednesday morning with a drop spindle. I might do more. I might have to pick more though, because I think I want 4 tops. Goodness gracious. I think this is something in Angora. Maybe it was 100% Angora. It's awfully fluffy. And very, very short. You know, when I was taking that cotton class at SAF, she was lending out hand cards to card it and make a roll log, and for spinning. And there was only one set of true cotton cards. The cotton cards are different than your standard cards. And I have a pair of cotton cards, but I didn't take them because they are real rusted. And I talked to her about it. I said, I've been considering putting more, taking the cloth off and putting new cloth on the cotton cards. And she said, don't bother. She says, you don't have to have cotton cards. She said, any card will do. I'm like, well, you're the one that's done a lot of experimenting. I'm going to believe you. And I've been trying to spin Pima cotton. Okay, first of all, I would have to recard this. Look at that. Looks good this side, but not this side. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said fibers like to be combed or carded. They usually have their preference. And this definitely seems to want to be combed into top. I may not even bother making bats. Let's see how it goes this time. She says there is no problem with that except for the pesticides. I mean, as far as there is a concern because there is the pesticide does stay on the fiber. And they're spraying specifically, they're not spraying the plant, they are spraying the cotton bolls, the buds specifically, okay, for the boll weevil. So that is a little better. I can spin that. So, you know, there is a concern about that. And the second thing is, you're going to be picking the hardest cotton to spin, not because it's on the bowl, but because it's not a long staple cotton. Unless you happen to run into somebody that's growing Sea Island cotton or, you know, a really good Pima cotton. But your general cotton industry cotton that you see in all the fields usually is extremely short. And they want it short because they run it through the cotton gin to take the seeds out. And if the staple is too long, it jams the gin. Okay? It jams the gin. So anyway, they are purposely growing really short cotton, and it's very hard to spin. I couldn't spin it. She gave us a bowl of commercial, what you would find in a field cotton, and I tried spinning, you know, by pulling it off the seed and trying to draft. I couldn't even draft anything to be able to spin it. Jam. No. Jam and biscuits. That sounds good. See if I have to do this one twice. Yep. It's not very nice. sounds good. Taco soup. Soup sounds good. I got homemade soup on the menu for this week. But it'll be something with chicken. This string is annoying. It's the card fabric is fabric, so it keeps unraveling. How could I still have vegetable matter in there? Good grief. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that. Yeah, boy, it's hard to nest these. There we go. I have so many works in progress around here. Okay, I don't need this anymore. I have two show and tells. This is the Hobby Lobby acrylic yarn bee yarn that I spun. It is the multicolored plied with itself. I made a washcloth. Okay. That's so soft, but basically it's a swatch for me to decide how it's going to wash and shrink. Now, instead of measuring, I'm going to do a template, I think. Yeah. Good. I didn't make it bigger than the... It is a little cattywampus. I did not block it, and that might be something that I need to do. So that's another reason for making this template. Nothing like running into your mic with a pencil. And so I get to stick this in someplace in the way, out of the way, where I'll forget where I put it, but it's right here by the computer. So if I ask, somebody tell me. And I have to figure out what to do, whether to weave the ends in or make loops. I wish one loop. I would like to be able to hang up the. So I'll make one loop, which is bigger here. Doesn't really matter. I like that one for the loop. I'll weave this one in. What the heck is on this needle? It's dental floss. I was using it for beads. Go. Yeah, there's a bead on the end of it. Okay. Glad you figured that out. How about a less stabby one? There we go. Oh man, they're gonna mute my stream. They've played Pop Goes the Weasel. Now they're playing Rockabye Baby. I mean, I might as well just consider this one muted. I mean, I know Discord tries to prevent that, but come on. I wouldn't play something so obvious. I mean, I wouldn't put it in the... What am I trying to... In the thing. On Pretzel. Even without words, will they? Yeah. I never play words. I always play instrumental. They consider it a copyright. And these are nursery rhymes. I know that's why they put it in there. They're going to say nursery rhymes don't have a copyright, but I'm not going to go through the process of disputing it. You know. All right. We will see how that holds up. Now let's figure out how to make a loop here. I lost my needle. I don't know which one I was using. Some of these needles are pretty rusty. And they're all magnetic for some reason. So, is that, I mean, is that considered a horror thing? Rockabye Baby? You guys, Veggie says, really, I don't think I've ever had parts of my streams muted. I get muting at least once a month. Um, and you know this one has played. Okay, so that's good. I think it's the way it's played. Well, that's a possibility. What version it is. That's a possibility. Well, we'll find out. Um, what's your favorite horror author? Ye readers? I'm trying to think who I will say mine is. I don't read much horror. But I have read some good stuff. I mean, you know, it was like, yeah, that was a good one. Poe is Poe is a classic. I know that. I don't watch it on TV. I will say that. You watch more than read it. Yeah. It would be horrible if the baby fell from a treetop. You got that right, all crafty. That's true. That's a lot. There's a lot of truth about that on all the nursery rhymes. They're actually kind of. And I cut my teeth on horror on Brothers Grimm. Um, their 2 volume kids book, which are more like fables or whatever. What about science fiction, Veggie? Are you going to go see Dune? We're going to try and get to see it here next week or two. I have read Dune. Unaltered Grimms? Yeah, I don't think I have read those. I have to look into that. That sounds like something that I need to do. You guys, my 2 hours is almost up and I haven't had another cup of tea. I got a whole teapot full. Anyway, my washcloth's done. Yay. Now for the testing. And what do you need with magazine? A good book, right? I said magazine. What do you need with tea? A good book. Well, I have a magazine to show you. My brain forced words out of my mouth before I was ready. Have you all seen Taproot? I just found out about it at SAF. This is issue 41, so they put out 4 issues a year. They've been out for a while. I find it amazing. I haven't heard about it before. It is inspiration for makers, doers, and dreamers, but they do a hefty amount of the fiber. So, not spinning specifically, but all sorts of fiber related things. You haven't purchased it yet. Well, I was talking at a booth with the vendor and she mentioned it and I said, "What's that?" And she told me about it. That it's Interweave Press. So many people are upset with Interweave Press now and have stopped with whatever is going on with Interweave Press that bugs them. Now, I get Spin-Off digitally and I get Piecework digitally. Those are both uh, Interweave Press and I get them digitally. So I don't get many magazines that are ones I'm going to keep. I get a lot of magazines that are recipes, their food or their um, what I call picture books. Just sit down with a nice, like Victoria, those kind of things. All right, not something I keep, but I enjoy it for a season and then they get passed on. I take them to half price. I don't think I get a thing for them, but whatever. I haven't actually put them in the trash. I have passed them on. I love the cover. I mean, that's just gorgeous. And it is I'm not going to be able to go through the whole thing. It is done by a lady. Let me see where. Here's the contributors. Let me see where she is. Self-taught illustrator designer. Born in Uzbekistan, but landed in snowy Ohio. And I just, that image, I'm from Ohio, right? I was just like, yeah. So her she studied computer science, but her true passion's always been patterns and illustrations. And she did this, and she did, let me see here. No, I'm wrong. I thought she had done an article too, but I'm wrong. She didn't. So the basic gist is head, right? The whole magazine has a theme, and this theme is extend, extend, and so think of this: extend the head, extend the hands, extend the heart. And they talk about an artist weaver. They talk about breed specific fiber farming, which of course is what caught my eye, the breed specific. Um, Patches, plants, and practice. We've got a fair amount of gardening in there, which, you know, may or may not be something that you think connects as a textile person, but definitely connects with me because I have land and I garden and all that. And then they have, for hands, they have article on fermentation, making vinegars and things like that. So totally away from the fiber thing. And some of these I don't know what they are by the name, so and I haven't read them, so I'm not going to make it up. Southern Windowsill Gardens. I'm so looking forward to reading that. I just got this the other day. Creating a low waste kitchen. North Country Dress. Let's take a peek at that. North Country Dress. Can we see that? The back. And pattern piece directions. Okay, you're going to be cutting your own pattern piece out of it. And then there is a cardigan in here. We're going to take a peek at that. By the way, this is how the directions look for the dress. Look how specific, right? Very. And this is the cardigan. It is well, I would say it's knit, but my goodness, there's a lot of terms. Yep, it's knit. Here's your garment measurements for all your sizes. They don't use traditional sizing. They have size 1 through 9 and size A through M, which has the circumference. Well, okay, I'm sorry. This is what A is. There's A. This is what B is on the cardigan. Can you see that? Am I close enough? I think this is brilliant, okay? I was looking at this real quick. So if you are making the cardigan and you're on the sleeve and you want to know, J, you measure and you know your measurement is such, then you go to J and you find that measurement, and that's the size you're making it. Kind of like what we do anyway, but they put it in print. Veggie says, I don't magazine either. Recently I got Ply and haven't read them yet. That's why I normally don't buy them. And All Crafty says, I've got a lot of Quilty magazines I need to find somewhere to get rid of. Yeah, I went through that and I did that. We have, you heard me say, it's a store called Half Price. And it's in other states, I'm sure. I don't know. But you probably can find something of the same concept where they take and they give you a pittance for books and magazines and CDs and records and all that sort of thing. And then they mark them and sell them. So I have to wait before I decide whether I'm going to. This is the kind of magazine I usually buy. I mean, I would buy in paper as opposed to. I am so not digital. It is difficult for me not to read digitally. You know, it's difficult for me to get the type of inspiration I get from a magazine in the hand. But I'm learning. The spin-offs have really stretched me that way, and it's pretty good. But unfortunately, 6 issues. Oh, it's 6 times a year. I'm sorry. It's 6 a year, not 4. And it's $48, which is $24 savings. That's half the price than if you would buy each one individually. So it's worth it if I feel like that I want to go ahead. And there is one other, Mitts and Hat, which I'm not as, it's lots of cable work. It's beautiful, but I'm not as impressed with because, to be honest with you, I have plenty of sources of patterns for knitting. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for in here, except maybe to say inspiration, right? Because I don't need another knitting pattern. I have a blue million of them already, and we'll never have time. There's some things I like learning about spinning, but it's getting to the point where spin-off is just very repetitive for me. So, I'm looking for visual inspiration, I think, is what appealed to me. What got to me was this did not hit the shelf where I bought it. It was printed. It is the September 2020 issue. So it took almost a year to get to that shelf. None of it is information is going to be dated, right? It doesn't matter. But it took that long to get to the shelf. And I don't know how long it sat on the shelf before I saw it and bought it. There were others, but not maybe 3-4 more copies. So I'll be letting you know more if I find something that's really super wonderful. I think I like the fact that it has the gardening, cooking, a little bit of sewing. I need to get back to sewing. I haven't sewed forever, except for mending and hemming. And I have a nice sewing machine. It would be nice to do some sewing, so it might help that a little bit. All right. Well, I have just a little bit of time left. I think I'm going to pull my Roberta up in front of me and ply the merino silk bamboo. Another one of the unfinished projects sitting around me. Feel like I'm sliding off my chair. Oh, I have been shopping hard, which means looking online. Shopping hard for a better chair. Oops, it's done like that. For streaming or in general. This is cotton that I was spinning Friday. I will go back to that later. This is already 2-plied of what I'm going to ply, so I'm just going to add it to that. One of the I was spinning these two, and I did finish it on stream, but I was afraid. One, I wanted to let it sit, but I also was afraid to go on spinning because this, because a drive band that looks like this. All right, this is what runs the bobbin. Had a split, and it was just like hanging on by a couple threads. I did super glue it, but obviously it was the join. It was the join that they had done because these have joins. And I did super glue the old one. I will find out sometime. I will try it, knowing I've marked it. I know it's the super glued one. All right. This is another thing I have sitting here. I need to skein that, but not today. Probably not on stream either, too. I just didn't get around to it. It is actually time I make spinning my job. I'm still considering that, thinking that over. Where I put in set number of hours a day. Boy, the music got quiet. I don't hear it. I was hearing it there for a while, but I don't hear it now. Yes, I do tie together instead of trying to. Alright, let's take care of this. I have to increase my pull in and my speed because I was working on that cotton and it did not like strong pull in or fast speed. This is a merino silk bamboo blend. the first part of this that I plied, I ran out of single on one bobbin and not on the other quite a bit. I had to make a ball, uh, plying ball, in order to do the ply. That may happen again. This is a merino silk bamboo blend. Been in my stash for a long, long time and finally getting it done. I bought it the one and only time I ever went to a Stitches Midwest. And I don't have the. Hang on. I don't have the label. I have to look at Ravelry real quick here. I'm not finding it. Hang on. Where is it? There it is. No, that's the green that I bought. Wrong one. Lisa Sousa. Excuse me. I don't know what she has. I'm just giving you the her fiber webpage. I think it's called Zen Garden. This was a roving. And welcome back, by the way. Glad you're back. I am going to be stopping after I finish this plane, which is getting very close to being done here. You were gifted a thing that spins like clouds this weekend. I'm not sure what you mean, Veggie. Are you talking about a tool or fiber? To me, a cloud is a prep. Is that what you mean? Where it's just a big puff? The only time I've ever seen clouds is Icelandic Thel or Tog. Yeah, Thel. I mean, that's basically what you do when you don't have any way to process your fiber. You just pick it open and put it in, put it aside and pick it open real good and put it aside and take handfuls of it. At least that's how I'm familiar with cloud prep. So you can enlighten me. It's like a blend that's really slick. Wow. Okay. Do you have a source name, a vendor name, or anything where I could see what you're talking about? Cloud. Huh. Cloud fiber. Oh, that's a good image. Oh, yak and silk. Oh my gosh. Veggie, that's amazing. Was it amazing? I mean, have you spun it? The silk would have had to been not not the rough. It would have had to been the really really smooth. And of course the yak is the undercoat. It's super soft. Did you get that at the fiber fair? Yeah, that's amazing. I have done cashmere and silk blend of my own. I have cashmere and I have silk, and I've, you know, did a hand card of it. But yeah, you have to experiment a little bit. Uh, your nano might work too. Because the first thing I spun on my nano was 100% silk. And it did wonderful. In the Nano, you should be able to do from a fold better. Oh, right. I'm going to have a little bit left on one bobbin. Probably can wind it off my hand. Finish it up without it tangling. All right. To the end here. Oh, there was quite a bit on there. I may regret doing this. Windmill Crest Farms. Okay. Oh, your mother-in-law got it for you. What a nice mother-in-law. All right, there was more on this bobbin than I thought, but I'm at the end. So I will see if I can do this without it becoming snarled up. I don't usually do this much. Yay. I kept it on my fingers. All right. That is pretty pretty. I'm happy with that. Okay, well, Windmill Crest does. I got their website up. They do. Oh, that is so cool. They have an alpaca. They do. They're an alpaca farm. They have a felded dragonfly on a lily pad. It's a picture. It's flat, but it looks 3D. It's so well done. All right. I don't see fiber. Let me see here. These are featured items. Roving. Ooh, they got a lot of nice. They did some ice dyeing, bamboo roving. That looks gorgeous. They got no clouds though. Well, it's going to remain a mystery. That's okay. I like mysteries. And it's time for me to say goodbye. It's on there? Okay. Hang on. Wait a minute. Is it? It's rowing, right? Alpaca. Oh, it's a roving, huh? Okay. It's a roving. Yak silk top roving. Top roving. Okay. Top roving. I was looking for the cloud. Yeah, it's in the roving. But they're calling it top roving. Although, you know, I made top roving this last week or so. What I call top roving because I took merino top that I bought. I mean, it's commercially prepared. And I put it on the drum carder. I made a bat out of it with other stuff. So, you know, that's top roving. And it spins like a cloud. I bet it does. It looks gorgeous. But I liked their ice dyed bamboo. That looked amazing too. So that, thank you. I'm going to hang on to that website. That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyway, I'll be back Wednesday morning. And I don't know what I'll be doing. So come and find out. You all, thanks for stopping by. Veggie, been great talking to you. All Crafty, if you're still there, thanks for stopping by. It's been great talking to you both. And I appreciate it because it's awfully lonely in here. You all have a good week. And I'll see you Wednesday morning. Bye.